Welcome to the first video of 2019 here on the Regulus channel. Today we will be covering another 6 amazing looking games to play in 21:9 or ultra-wide. Before we hop in, I just want to mention that all of these games are not necessarily considered good games, and some developers of these games may not be particularly popular amongst gamers, but this video is purely intended to show some goddamn beautiful games. If a game isn't on this list, then it may be on one of my previous lists, since I've already made 2 similar videos to this one covering other games in the past. So go make sure you check those out, they will be linked in the description. For those who are curious, I'm playing all these games on an ASUS ROG SWIFT 34-inch ultra-wide gaming monitor at 3440 by 1440 and using a GTX 1080 graphics card. And last but not least, make sure to leave a comment regarding your favourite personal game to play in ultra-wide. Starting off the list, we have a game that in my opinion helped to revive a franchise. And that game is Assassin's Creed Origins. This game is based in Egypt and is a third-person action stealth RPG style game. This beautiful game allows you to explore the wonders of Egypt, such as the pyramids, and sail down the Nile. The expansive open world is breathtaking, with so much to explore, discover, and do within the world, that I can say for a fact that I only just purchased this game about a week ago, and I'm already hooked. You can also climb anything you see and tackle objectives and missions so many different ways. When it comes to ultra-wide support, this game natively supports 21:9. There are a few pre-rendered cutscenes that are 16:9, but most of the time, ultra-wide reigns supreme. Playing on a resolution of 3440 by 1440 causes the frames to sit below 60 quite a lot of the time, with a few stutters here and there, but you can easily lower your settings to prevent this, or even if you do sit below that 60, it still pretty much doesn't affect the gameplay at all. I don't even notice it most of the time. Next up, we have another very beautiful game that goes by the name Far Cry 5. Welcome to Hope County, Montana, land of the free and the brave, and also where Far Cry 5 takes place. In this game, you will be traversing this county in an attempt to stop a fanatical doomsday cult known as Eden's Gate. There are tons of weapons, vehicles, companions, and abilities to use throughout this game, to allow you to always vary your playstyle and go in stealthily or guns blazing. This game looks fantastic in 21:9 whilst roaming around the massive and expansive open world. A few issues are that the menus, loading screens, and binoculars are all in 16:9, giving you those black bars on the sides. The other main issue is that the FOV for this game seems to reset and zoom in whenever you're climbing something, which makes for some weird feeling each time you do. The HUD also stays at 16:9, which can get in the way of experiencing the beauty, especially whilst driving. The next game may send a shiver down your spine, or induce a rage-filled feeling deep inside your body because of all the terrible publicity it got. And that game is, of course, Star Wars Battlefront 2 by DICE. Despite all the controversy around this game, there is no doubt in my mind that this game looks amazing in ultra-wide. If you've ever wanted to experience the Star Wars universe and feel immersed within its world, then this is currently, in my opinion, the best way to get this experience. With an FOV slider that seems to be able to go incredibly high, as you may be able to see from some of my gameplay, I may have had it a little too high. The developers have also fixed all the microtransaction issues from the past, so don't let that scare you away any longer. The loading screens and cutscenes are in 16:9, but everything else works almost perfectly in ultra-wide. Now, we have another game that was destroyed at release, and no, I'm not talking about Fallout 76, but it has vastly improved since then and may actually be almost what it was originally advertised as. If you haven't guessed already, that game is No Man's Sky. This game is basically a completely open universe game that is all about exploration and partially about survival. Get in your ship and travel to literally an infinite number of planets, all with randomly generated terrain, weather, and creatures. With no loading screen between being on a planet and travelling into space, the game maintains an enjoyable feeling whilst flying around in your ship. You can upgrade all aspects of your ship, weapons, and equipment, but the game can get pretty grindy at times. Overall, it's still not the best game of all time, but leagues ahead of where it used to be. For what I can tell, this game also seems to work almost perfectly in ultra-wide, with no 16:9 aspect ratios to be found anywhere, except for what appears to be a possible slight stretching of the HUD, but that may just be how it's supposed to be. Another DICE game on the list, but this time it's one which had a much better reception, and that game is Battlefield 1. Chances are, if you've been looking into ultra-wide games or monitors for a while, you will have seen or at least heard of this game and how amazing it looks on 21:9 monitors. This game takes place during the Great War, or World War I, feels super duper immersive and gritty, and really puts you into the feel of World War I through a crazy amount of different scenarios. All the way from boots on the ground, charging enemies with a bayonet, to hopping in a tank and capturing key locations. The only issues I experienced were that the cutscenes were in 16:9, but other than that, the game does absolutely look amazing, and the frame rate seems to stay way above 60 FPS at pretty much all times. Last but not least, we have yet another Ubisoft game, and that game is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's right, another Assassin's Creed game, but bear with me. This game looks absolutely fantastic, just as Origins did, and just feels amazing to play. I wanted to mention them both in case you thought only one of them was good. This game is based in ancient Greece and allows you to explore all throughout the Greek islands as one of two different starting characters. The skill tree and abilities feel amazing and almost make you feel like a superhero, while still staying somewhat grounded. At one point I left the location and was ambushed by a bounty hunter who destroyed me, and I honestly thought it was just an awesome addition to the game. One thing that this game seemed to do slightly worse than Origins was that literally all of the cutscenes in the game were 16:9, but I found a fix for this to make them ultra wide, and we'll leave that in the description. The only other slight issue is that the frame rate seems to drop below 60 FPS quite often, but once again, similar to Origins, really wasn't noticeable or much of a problem, and you can always lower your settings a little bit and it'll still look amazing. Well guys, I really hope you enjoyed the first video of 2019. If you did, make sure to leave a like and comment about your favourite games to play in Ultrawide. And if you enjoy my content, maybe hit that little subscribe button. Anyway guys, until next time, peace out.
Clear the way! Move out of